So let's recap over these 6 things that you can work on right now to start moving towards your ultimate lifestyle. Number 1. Welcome to Trujectory, the podcast committed to helping you align with who you really are, your true self. The one who is so comfortable with their uniqueness, so in love with life, and so effortlessly able to manifest everything they always dreamt of. I want this podcast to be a resource to help you jump into the driver's seat rather than continuing as a passenger in your own story. Let's understand why we choose to hold ourselves back so we can shed the lies that we've programmed into our minds. We can heal the root causes and step into the epic human that we know we can be. If you're ready to start aligning with your trajectory, let's do it. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for tuning in today. I really want to dive into something that I'm super passionate about because I was in this state for so long and I want to help people get out of it if they are in it. This is the state where you've started doing some inner work, you know what you want, but you're stuck. You can't seem to get yourself out of this rut. There might be certain patterns, certain habits that you keep doing that you don't want to be doing. You might be eating the wrong foods and then judging yourself. You might be wanting to take action and then you do a little bit and then you get burnt out and then exhausted and then you doubt yourself and all of the self-judgment and all of that fun stuff. That was where I was for a very, very long time. And so today I want to look at 6 things that you can work on right now to start moving towards your ultimate desired state, the ultimate lifestyle that you have up in your mind, but you keep sort of, convincing yourself you're not good enough for it or you don't have what it takes to get there. You really do. It starts quite small, and these are 6 really easy things that you can start working on. They sound easy and they are easy to start implementing, but the impact that these 6 things have on your mindset shift, on the amount of progress that you can make is staggering. It's really blown my own mind. And I know when I fall out of these habits, when I let go of them for a little while or fall back into old routines, I just notice the difference really, really quickly. So let's get started. First things first, number 1, shift into a learning mindset. This is so golden. When you're not in a learning mindset, it's very easy to get overwhelmed, to get freaked out by all of the new things that are coming into your world. When you're trying to do something new, you're going to be hitting all of your edges, right? You're going to be coming up against the barriers that you have put around yourself, that the ego mind has placed around you to keep you safe. So you're constantly going to be shedding and relearning and rewiring and breaking down walls and building up new ones. And it gets really scary if you're not in the right mindset. And this is how it can be really easy to then lose momentum and sort of turn around and go, you know what, I'm just not up for this thing. Maybe I don't want that dream life as bad as I thought I did. You know you do, and you know you can have it. It's just a matter of having this really just empowering mindset. So if you're constantly a student, if you're constantly putting yourself in the student role, then there is no gain. There's plenty of gain. There's no loss. There is nothing that you can do wrong, because everything that you would term usually as a mistake or a failure or a misstep is actually educating you on ways not to do things or areas that you need to pivot, or you're coming up against things that feel wrong to you. So you're understanding with a learning mindset, okay, I'm going to tap into these feelings. That's not resonating with me, so I'm going to go in this direction. So you're constantly gaining, you're constantly progressing, and you're just learning. So whether you want to call it a learning mindset, a growth mindset, being the student always, whatever you want to call it or think of it, really install that as your number 1 program for all of the things that you're stepping into. You are the student, you're constantly learning, and there is nothing to lose when you are always learning. So presence. Presence is the second one. That is, and these aren't in any particular order, right? Whatever resonates with you, start there. But presence is something that is so underestimated and undervalued, and we forget about it. I mean, think about your day-to-day. How often are you actually genuinely present? From the moment you wake up, you've got things going on, whether it's kids calling you, or whether it's chores that you've got to jump into, whether it's pets that are wanting to be fed, then it's, self-maintenance, then it's maybe showering, maybe going to the gym, whatever it might be. Then you're off to work. You're constantly answering questions. You're constantly, I'm having a good one today. You are constantly thinking about things from the past, worrying about things in the future. And this is where suffering comes from. And this is where a really negative mental health can start to overwhelm you. Being present is where you actually get to sit with your true self, your true authentic essence, which is the part of you that came into this incarnation and that is untainted. Before all of the limiting beliefs started being installed, before people told you that you can't do this and you should do it this way and you shouldn't do that, the true essence of you is the powerful, unique, authentic truth that knows exactly what you want, exactly what steps to take to get there, and it's constantly giving you these signals that feel like cravings. I'm craving more abundance. It's a longing. It's a deep feeling, knowing that you want more, and that's because you came here, your true soul essence came here with a plan, with the knowledge of what it wanted you to do. But it's the ego personality self that's been built around your true essence that's holding you back. So when you learn to be present, you get to tap into that true essence and you get answers. And that is the beauty of being present. Have you ever noticed that when you're having a shower or when you're doing the dishes and you just sort of get really swept up in the process and you stop worrying about this and that, and you just sort of, without realizing it, you're becoming present, and suddenly you get downloads of information. You get ideas for new creative projects or how to handle certain situations that you've been struggling with for a while. It's when you stop and when you slow down and your mind's gone into this autopilot mode, because just say you're doing the dishes or you're driving your car or having a shower, whatever it is, you're doing these actions that you've been doing so many times over and over again that you're just on autopilot. So you're not using your mind in those constant ways that you are when you're at work or when you're, working with your kids or family members or partners or whatever it is. You're just being still, and that's when divine inspiration comes in. So trying to tap into your presence, your mindfulness, a couple of times a day is all you need to do to start. Really just set aside, whether it is a task, it's probably the easiest way to do it is to, if you're going to be doing your washing or the dishes, or you're going to be washing your dog or whatever it might be, really use that time to choose to be mindful, to be in the action, present with what you are doing. You're not worried about the outcome. You're not worried about what's happening 10 minutes after this is done. You're not worrying about what happened 10 minutes before. You are just being completely 100% present with the action that you are doing. And you will find that once you have a few tasks like that in a day where you actively choose to be conscious and present, you'll start to feel the difference in your physiology, your nervous system. It calms down. It has a chance to start recovering from all of the 1,000 miles a minute that you're constantly running at every other time in your life. And then once you get these little habits into your day-to-day, then it becomes something that you can build upon. So it might start with just the dishes, and then it might start with the dishes plus washing the clothes. And then it might be whenever you cook. And then all of these things that you're doing, you're including presence into those actions. And that's when you are going to start feeling so renewed. You're going to have so many new ideas coming through. You're going to get to know yourself, your true self, a lot better. And you're going to get in touch with who you really are at your core. So that's the second one. Being present, being here and now. Great way to lose the anxiety and the depression. They don't exist in the present moment. They actually don't exist here. They exist in the past and in the future. Depression is worrying about what's happened in the past and how you dealt with things and things you regret and things you could have done better. Anxiety is worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. So they're all fictional emotions that we create for ourselves because we're not being present. So this is a huge, huge gift you can give to yourself. So that's 2. Number 3, something that really helped me was adopting this mentality of just for today. And I even wrote this on my bathroom mirror and my bedroom mirror so that every time I'd come into those rooms, which is multiple times a day, I would see this and remember this. Just for today. Instead of everything I was doing feeling like, if I do this thing now, then what's it going to look like tomorrow? And is that going to be enough of an impact for tomorrow and then the next day? And what about a week from now? And it was, again, causing all of this anxiety that was just built up in my mind. So I started making every single day its own container, not blending it into the future. Obviously, I have my future goals and I have my visualization meditations and I have all sorts of ways that I manifest that, and I'm bringing those emotions into my reality now. But I don't have to let my mind live in the future constantly. I bring it here, and that's how I can get work done. So having this idea of just for today, everything that you're doing is encompassed in this one little container. It also means that if you have a slip up, if you're trying to eat really well and one day you have a bit of a sugar binge, remember it's just for today. You haven't just ruined your whole week. You haven't ruined your whole month or your whole year. You can get back up tomorrow and it'll be a whole new day, a new container where you can make new choices. And this is how we start to get this mindset around little by little steps, little actions, little changes, little positive choices that end up compounding over time and making a huge difference. So the just for today mentality is not only great to help you not beat yourself up if you slip up, because it's just for today. You're going to get back on the horse tomorrow. It's going to be fine. And it's also a great way to not overwhelm yourself. Overwhelm is the easiest way to stop making progress because it just feels like it's all too much. If you're worried about all the tasks that you've got to do tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day, it gets way too much. So calm the overwhelm and the self-judgment with just for today. Now, number 4 is long game. So these all sort of play into each other, right? They sort of blend. They work within and around each other really well. So the long game mentality is, again, looking at those tiny actions in the day-to-day form that will eventually compound over time. So if you're in it for instant gratification, for instant validation from your peers or from your social media audience, that's a really quick way to get really disheartened because there are so many variables, right? I mean, if you are doing it all for that instant hit, then it's not going to be sustainable. You need to be able to gain the skills to do the thing that you want to do. And hopefully your goal is something big. I mean, this is the point here. Have fun. Use your imagination. Dream big. Don't dream small. What's the point in that? Have a big, beautiful goal that is so aligned with the soul essence that is calling out to you, that is aligned with the passion that you feel every day. You feel this passion, whether it's towards art or towards working with people or working with animals or whatever it is. Start tapping into that feeling and have that picture in your mind, and then understand that it's a long game. It's a long-term goal. And when you're not reaching that goal within a week, you don't get disheartened then because you understand that it's something that you're working towards, and you don't want it to happen overnight because then you haven't gained the gusto and the grit and the complete discipline. Like, discipline is something we've all got to really get our heads around. Some people have got it sorted and look how they're on fire, right? Discipline is a gift that we can give to ourselves, but it's been something that I think we've all let go of for so many years, and we've sort of thought of it as a negative. But when you can install discipline into your life and know that you will do the things that you need to do to get you where you want to go, it's so empowering and it's freeing. It's liberating. You're able to get everything. You're able to every day be proud of yourself because you know you're kicking your goals. And when you've got that mentality of just for today, like we were just talking about, and understanding that you are working towards a long game, a long-term goal, then there's no judgment when you're not seeing those instant results. And I can guarantee you, if you keep these mentalities and you keep the discipline going, you keep that momentum moving, you keep the progress building, you will find yourself at that goal quicker than you thought possible. And you'll turn around and go, oh my gosh, I was thinking of that as a long game and it happened just like that. But not having that idea as your determining factor, as you know what I mean? So really understanding, yes, long game, this is the new mentality I think a lot of people are finally getting their heads around. Took me a shitload of time to get my head around this one. And it's the only reason I've been able to start this podcast. I was in this mentality of constantly wanting validation, wanting, people to see what I was doing straight away, wanting a big audience for this project that I was working on, or this art piece or whatever. And it started to get really disheartening because I wasn't reaching the numbers that I had imagined in my mind. And then I started realizing I'm not even doing this for me. I'm doing this for the hope of someone else validating it. So I had to step back really far. I had to take a couple of years off social media. I had to work on my health. I had a lot of other things going on at the time. And I had to really redefine why I'm doing these things. And if it's not because you love it, if it's not to just feed into your own passion, your own fire, your own desire, then it's worth looking at and questioning, is this actually something I want to do, or am I doing this thing because I want this person and that person to see me doing this thing for this and that reason? So really questioning. So many questions to be asked from ourselves, really. And if you're not already doing that, highly recommend journaling. I've only just started doing that recently, and it's already blowing my mind at the stuff that's coming out, but also the fact that journaling in itself, I'm applying discipline. I'm doing it every single day. It's something I was never able to do. Everyone always talked about journaling, and I was like, I don't have the momentum to keep doing that every single day. Maybe one day out of a week, I'll want to write my thoughts down. But when you start doing it regularly, and you start noticing patterns, and you start really understanding yourself a lot better, it's just so invaluable. But anyway, that's a tangent. So we'll leave that for another time. We can do a whole episode of journaling. So number 5, this is the one for me. I mean, I say that they're all the one. All of these 6 things have helped me step into the work that I've been wanting to do for so long. But this one was huge. And it came from a friend of mine, a really beautiful, close friend who knows me very, very well. She knows I'm a perfectionist. And I was just telling her about the things I want to do. And I was sort of saying, yeah, but I want it to be this and I want it to be that. And she said, it's going to be clunky. You're going to start, you're going to be clunky, you're going to work your way through it, you're going to figure it out, and then you're going to keep moving, you're going to make progress. And I mean, all of these things are so obvious, right? Like, we know them on a logical level. But hearing her say it about the specific work that I was trying to do with this podcast and with the content that I'm creating and all of the other plans that are in the works right now, it was so liberating. It was like my perfectionist just jumped off my back and went, yeah, you know what? Just give it a go, girl. Just go for it. Have fun. And so I've labeled this my clunky phase. And this is number 5. I highly recommend you label this initial phase. You're just about to step into something, your purpose work, right? Or at least into something that you think might lead you to your purpose work. You don't have to have all of the answers right now. And that's the beauty of the clunky phase. I mean, you could call it your beginning phase, your learning phase, your trial and error phase, whatever you want to call it. You could call it vanilla popcorn bubblegum if you want. It doesn't matter what you call it, but as long as it brings in that reminder that this is me learning, trying things out, taking action and not judging myself, and understanding in advance that yes, I will come up against walls. Yes, I will make mistakes. Yes, I will change my mind 50,000 fucking times. And that's okay, because I'm in my clunky phase and I am just figuring this shit out as I go. And that is the fun of it. This is where I'm chiseling myself to figure out the sort of woman that I want to be in business, the sort of host that I want to be on a podcast. If I tried to figure out all of these answers logically, sitting there with a pen and pad and not actually just doing it, I wouldn't get even half of the insight that I've had from actually starting to interview people and do my own solo episodes and scripting and all of the editing that comes into it. I'm learning so much, and I'm gaining so much, and I'm making so many beautiful friends that I never thought that I'd have the opportunity to connect with. There are so many gains that are coming in while I'm in this learning phase. And I mean, I'm always going to be in a learning phase, right? A learning student mindset. But right now in particular, my clunky phase, like I occasionally jump forward to my future self and I look back at me now in this clunky phase and I'm like, oh, you're so cute. That was such a good idea. You nailed it. Like, look at you having fun with all of these scary things that usually fear would have been the main emotion coming out at every single turn. And instead I'm going, that's okay. All right. Messed it up. Try it again. You should see my Instagram wall, my profile. I love aesthetics, right? I love something to be really clean and to have a certain feeling to it. And that's been my goal since I started this work a few months ago. to have this really specific sort of look and feeling. When you come to my wall, my profile, whatever you want to call it, the grid, you get this feeling, or you get this vibe, or this energy. And I swear I've changed it about like 8-9 times since I started, and I still know I haven't found it. I still know I haven't found the right, well, not the right, but the questions that I want to ask people. I know I still, when I do my solo episodes, I often start with one intention and I end up out the left back door halfway through it with a completely different ending to the episode that might not have touched on the thing that I wanted to touch on to, but it's done something else. I'm speaking, whatever is coming out is what is meant to come out. And again, this is trusting myself and letting go of all of the self-judgment. I've been so good at judging myself for so long now. I'm giving it a rest, and it's so fucking empowering. I can't even begin to tell you. So labeling the phase, that's number 5. That is such an important one, I feel. Dropping perfectionism, exploring, taking action, having fun, messing up, pivoting, changing, learning, getting back up again, and trying again. Just label the phase. And the last one is to encode a skill, a new skill each month. So this could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be a skill even. It could be something that's bolstering your morning routine or the way that you feel every morning. It could just be that you meditate for 10 minutes a day, every morning or every night. That is something that you're encoding into your day-to-day. When you do that for a whole month, and try to keep it as similar as you can to the same time. And when it comes to meditation, if you can do it in the same place in your home, that amplifies the energy. You're sort of creating a bit of a vortex of energy in that space, which also helps you. So whenever you sit there in future, you're already tapping into that energy that you've previously set up in that space. If that's not possible, it's not possible. It's okay. Still, just sitting for 10 minutes is a huge gift to yourself. It could be including a healthy smoothie every morning. It could be stretching every morning or at night. It could be just going to the gym, starting small, but starting knowing that, month number 1, I'm getting started on my mission now. Here I go. This month, I'm focusing on encoding this one new positive self-development habit. And just let that be the main focus. Don't overwhelm yourself with, I've got to eat well and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. Those things will fall into place. Once you prove to yourself that you can do that one thing, let's just for argument's sake say it's meditation. A lot of people want to meditate and they don't have they've got a lot of ADHD vibes going on and it's hard to sit still. I was certainly like that for a very long time. Once you prove to yourself that you can sit down for 10 minutes every single day, you've not only gained the meditation, which is calming your nervous system, which is giving you clarity about your soul purpose, which is tapping you into your true self, which is aligning you with presence, which is doing so many beautiful things for your health, your physiology, your mental health, your emotions, your spirit. It's also showing you that you can be disciplined. So it's starting to build your confidence because now you're seeing that, hey, I said I was going to do this thing and I did it. It's 1 month later and I've been meditating every single day. I might, you might have a day off here or there if you're sick or if something goes wrong. And again, that's not an opportunity to beat yourself up. That's when you go, okay, this is just for today. And tomorrow I'm going to step back in and get back to meditation. But at the end of the month, when you look back and go, wow, I really kept my word to myself. The next month rolls around and you go, okay, what can I add to this? See how quickly those habits, those beautiful, positive, self-development, empowering habits start to build on top of each other. It's gotten to the point in my life where I have so many beautiful habits that I do every morning in my morning routine. It goes for almost 3 hours now. That's including a gym session. But because I'm so in love with that morning routine, I know that I need a really good sleep to be able to have the energy to take part in that morning routine. So now I am prioritizing sleep as well as my whole morning routine. So in order to have a really good sleep, I needed to make sure that I wasn't eating too late at night. So now my morning routine has sort of stemmed into the end of the day, making sure that my eating times are aligned with how my body is feeling and making sure that I have enough time to digest my food before sleep. It also made sure that I wasn't eating sugar late at night. That was a big downfall of mine. I was always having sugar binges, and it would always be late at night. And then I would go to bed I'd think I was tired and I'd lay down and it was like I was on a drug. Because I mean, technically I am. It's like the blood was pulsing through my veins. I could feel it. I was like shaky. I had way too much sugar in my system to have a decent sleep. So I would have an awful sleep. Then I wouldn't have the energy to do my morning routine and I'd get a little bit down on myself. And, you know, this is when the just for today comes into it. So I've now learned that there are so many beautiful habits that build upon each other. So my morning routine technically starts from dinner time the night before. And so from dinner time through sleep, all the way through the first 3 hours of the next morning, they're just encoded, full, jam-packed with positive, healthy, self-empowering, self-development habits that I have created for myself that make me feel $1,000,000 when I'm starting my day. So something to think about. Your habits could be anything, right? Really just look at what you're needing in your life, what you're needing to shift, and start there. And start small. That's the key. Really start small and be proud of what you're doing, because those small changes make massive progress in the end. So let's recap over these 6 things that you can work on right now to start moving towards your ultimate lifestyle. Number 1, shift to a learning or student or growth mindset. Always be in the learning seat. Then there is never a mistake, never a hiccup. There are always just more lessons, more growth. It's amazing. Number 2, presence. Learning to be here now. The place where suffering doesn't exist. The place where divine inspiration can actually reach you because you are being silent, because you've stopped all of the monkey mind mental chatter from distracting you from true guidance that is trying to get through to you at any given moment. Number 3, just for today. Write that on your bathroom mirror, write that on your wall, make a little art piece, put it on your phone wallpaper if you can, just for today. Don't give yourself a hard time if you fall off the wagon. Don't expect everything to be perfect. You're going day by day, just for today. And long game mentality. Number 4, remembering not to be seeking that instant validation or instant highs from all of the things you're doing. You are putting in the groundwork. You're building the foundational layers of the pyramid that you're building right now, or the home. You have to make a solid base. And that solid base looks like all of these new habitual actions, discipline, routine, all of these things that are building your confidence to then know that you can continue to do the things you need to do to get where you need to go. Number 5, label the phase. This is the fun one. Label it whatever you want to label it, as long as it reminds you that this is your time to be allowed to make mistakes, to just jump in the mud, to get dirty, to learn through action, through doing, rather than trying to think all of the answers. Really, you can sit there for years trying to think it all out and cognitively come up with all of the right answers for everything. And as soon as you start taking action, you'll find that all those answers go out the window, because suddenly there's so many variables at play and there's so many different ways that you can go about things, and you figure it out as you go. So enjoy this. This is your fun phase. For me, it's my clunky phase. Figure out a name and enjoy it. Drop the perfectionism. And the last one is encoding a new skill each month. Start small. Any area of your life that you want to focus on is fantastic, whatever suits you. But one skill a month, one habit, something that you can continue to do every single day, and look back at the end of the month and see how proud of yourself you are. Or see what needs to shift to make sure that you can get even more aligned with this new habit for the next month. Whatever it is, think of yourself as a computer, a biocomputer. That's all we really are. And you're installing new apps each month that are going to give you all of these capabilities and all of these tools to be able to create that amazing life that you're craving. So those are the 6 things that you can work on right now. I hope you enjoy. I hope you have fun. Stay you, stay true. Love you.